Back in April of 1995, I decided to start a fan club for the 1970s science fiction TV series Space 1999. The name of this club is the Out of Earth Orbit Club, or OutOrb for short. A major reason why I started OutOrb is so that I could do Space 1999 fan fiction in the form of a comic strip I called All New Episodes. This comic focuses on the new Space 1999, a fictional revival of Space 1999 that occurred in the late 1980s. The fan club newsletter not only featured the comic strip, but also other writings and art from Space 1999 fans. Because I wanted to make the club as non-profit as possible, membership into OutOrb is free. As I recall, the club newsletter was supposed to be published monthly, but the horrors of real life, like having a crappy, scrappy job, slowed down the publication schedule of the newsletter. So over a period of 2 years, only 8 issues were published. However, I was able to publicize the club in a number of publications like Starlog magazine and the Fandom directory. At its height, the club reached a membership of around 40 people. That may be a small number, but I considered and still consider that a success. Unfortunately, most OutOrb members failed to contribute to the newsletter, but the few that did contribute made some good contributions. For example, the club logo came from a member who took the initiative to create it. Also, a few members contributed articles for publication, including one that examined the scientific plausibility of blasting the moon out of orbit. There was also Space 1999 art from members who contributed on a regular basis. On a closely related note, I also produced a webcomic called Out of Earth Orbit. It was a comic about Space 1999 fans who live in a world where Space 1999 is the dominant science fiction series. This comic was published on a Space 1999 website called space1999.org in 2006. But because I still had a crappy, scrappy job, I was only able to do about 4 installments of the comic. I had and still have a number of future plans for OutOrb. For example, I want to add more Space 1999 comic strips to the newsletter. These strips would be fictional spin-offs of Space 1999. They include Space, The Conquering Path, a series about a massive intergalactic war between 2 military powers known as the Congregate and the Aggregate, and the Dorkons play a major role in this series. Then there's Space, New Homeworld, a series about the descendants of Moonbase Alpha who live in a civilization known as the Terra Alphan Democracy. The main characters of this series often go on missions to visit the various regions of space that their Alphan ancestors traveled through. And then there's Space, ILC. This is a prequel to the original Space 1999 that frequently deals with the construction of Moonbase Alpha. Another plan I have or had for OutOrb is the OutOrb Annual. Some years ago, I began work on the annual. I finished a good chunk of its publication, but fell behind schedule on it again because of my crappy, scrappy job. Of course, the annual was to include lots of writing and art related to Space 1999. One idea I have for the publication is Sliders 1999, a crossover between the Fox TV sci-fi series Sliders and Space 1999. In this story, a member of Moonbase Alpha accidentally creates parallel universe travel. In one universe, the Alphan Sliders discover that the planet Sagan still exists and that the Sagans have taken over Alpha. Despite the problems I've had running OutOrb, the club has not been disbanded. It's only on hiatus until I can get the time to run the club again. And when OutOrb is fully active, I will never produce print versions of the newsletter, and I will never print versions of any other OutOrb publications. Print publications cost too much to produce, especially when you're doing it for free. And if basic income were a thing, I could get OutOrb up and running with ease. So until I can get OutOrb fully activated, at least there are tons of other Space 1999 fan clubs online. It makes it seem like Space 1999 is not as unpopular as some people say it is. Peace, the science out.